So, Crossroads is an infamous film that brought Britney Spears to the acting world in 2002. And I remember this film. I remember when this film came out. I remember it at Blockbuster Video. And I specifically remember always going with my buddy at the time to Blockbuster to rent, you know, all kinds of movies. And this one was never on our radar. I have no idea what drew us. Like, it wasn't even my idea from what I remember. I think it was his. But this was like completely the opposite of everything else we would ever rent. And it wasn't even like, oh, Britney Spears and she's so hot, she's in it, let's just watch it for Britney Spears. It wasn't even like that. It was, I think we decided to rent it just to kind of laugh at it and see, like, how bad this movie could possibly be. Because I remember at the time it was getting very mixed to negative reviews, and it was known for being, a cheese fest. And, but I also remember it being, and it is, a very, like, girl power, girly Britney Spears kind of movie. So again, I don't know, I don't know why we decided on this one. Because like I said, it wasn't even a situation where we're like, oh, let's just watch it for Britney Spears. We kind of decided it's like, oh, Crossroads Zone, everybody's talking about it, so let's watch it. And I remember it being cheesy as fuck. I never, obviously, like, it was not a movie made for me. It was not ever a film made for my demographic. But I got this copy for free, all right? My sister gave this to me. She had a double copy, so I got this for free. And I decided to jump into some nostalgia and rewatch it again to see if my experience watching this as an adult is different. It very much is. I can't believe Britney Spears is only 41 today. Not because she looks old, she doesn't at all. But I just thought she was older. I thought she was like approaching her 50s by now. It's just crazy to believe that she was born in December of 81, so almost an 82 baby. That's only 7 years older than I am. Crazy to think about. I don't know. I thought she was around for longer. It's kind of one of those situations where it's not that she looks 50. It's just I thought she was around longer. And I keep forgetting that, like, in 99, when she was really popular, she was like literally 60. Like an underage kind of superstar. 17 years old, she was already modeling for magazines, doing things that aren't illegal, but definitely provocative for a girl that age. And I mean, this is, again, late 90s, early 2000s. And watching this film specifically, the comparison to the world we live in today in 2023 with Instagram and shit like that, holy, like, this was like provocative at the time, and this was like edgy at the time, but this is so tame compared to what the shit you see on Instagram. Like, there's scenes in this movie where Britney Spears is, and she was always like that actress, not she was a singer more. Like, she obviously was more famous for her singing talents as a superstar, as a singer, pop star. But man, she was so tame in today, in, like, comparing to today. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much people looked at her as a sex symbol. And, like, I'm sure, like, in the 80s, like, Madonna was probably even worse for the time. But comparing to Britney Spears, to girls today where they just let it all loose from, like, I go on Instagram, and sometimes I'm scrolling and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'm like looking at these girls. It's like, how old is this bitch? Like, literally. And then, yeah, I click on it. Sometimes they're like 15, 16, 17. I'm like, um, this is like okay. Like, this is just put up for any, you know, 50-year-old pervert to watch, like, to look at. Like, I think there should be age restrictions on Instagram and all kinds of social media, but I don't know. I'm already starting this review on a total rant, and I'm already 5 minutes in. The movie itself. Okay, let's get into that. There's a lot of actors and actresses in this film that actually made it really big. Zoe Saldana, Avatar. She's awesome in anything she's in, and I totally forgot that she was in this. I totally forgot that Justin Long was in this. I Justin Long as an actor, and he definitely pushed it forward. And then we have the actress named Taryn Manning, who I remember from Eight Mile. She played the ex of B Rabbit in Eight Mile, and she's a pretty girl, and she definitely like had her big moments in popping up here and there in movies from the late 90s, early 2000s kind of thing. But I haven't seen her in too much recently, but she was always good. So you have those three girls: Zoe Saldana playing Kat, Taryn Manning playing Mimi, and then Britney Spears playing Lucy. And Britney Spears is hot in this film. Let's just get that out of the way. I think she's like 21 or 22 at the time. And damn, like, she is really hot. And again, looking from 2023 back then, she's so conservative. For like in this perspective, like at the time, she's at the motel with Justin Long, and it's like a time capsule of a scene because it's so ridiculous. She comes out with like a suit jacket, like his jacket, obviously, and she's in bra and panties after that. But she's acting so like innocent and well, virgin like, because that was her like image, I guess. And they really milked that out of her. No pun intended. That image and that kind of vibe. They really. I think that's kind of why she went a little bit like she wasn't ready for the whole public image because they portrayed her to be this like angel innocent kind of girl, and she was at that time in life where she wanted to like try other things, like, you know, every celebrity does. Like Miley Cyrus did the same thing. She did the Hannah Montana thing, and then she jumped into the being an adult girl kind of thing. So I think Britney Spears got stuck in that, not knowing who she was. Like, everybody wants me to be this virgin angel girl, but like I want to be a normal 20-something-year-old chick, which is unfortunate. That happens to a lot of celebrities, obviously. But oh boy, where was I going? Yeah, the Justin Long thing. He's reading a list of all the reasons why they should have sex. I'm like, okay, this is not able to be made today. All right, he's listing reasons, and then he starts begging. He starts begging the bitch. He's like, please, do you know what happens to guys who go to college as virgins? They get ostracized. They're treated like lepers. They're really not. I've been to college twice. Okay, they're not treated like lepers. I was not a virgin when I went to college. No, the first time I was. Sorry, the first time I was a virgin. I was not treated like a leper. The second time, I definitely wasn't a virgin at that point. That's I'm a late bloomer, and I got it in, you know, not when I was 18, but when I was like early 20s. Made up for lost time. That's a different story. But you're not treated like a leper if you're a virgin in college. And he's going off, and it's like he's like begging this chick to sleep in there, and she's so innocent. She's like, "I'm sorry, I just don't want to do it." I'm like, yeah, you need to like put on the brakes because for many reasons, but if this was like a 2023 situation, yeah, Me Too would be all over that shit. All over that shit. So basically the movie's about when these little girls were kids, Lucy, Kat, and Mimi. They made a time capsule. They buried the time capsule. The time capsule doesn't play like a huge part into the film. It's just something that brings them back together, like however many years later when they're adults and finishing high school and getting. I don't know how old they are in the movie, but I'm pretty sure they're basically graduating. I'm quite sure, if I'm not mistaken. And they redig this time capsule, and that kind of connects them together. And then one of them is taking a trip to California. I think they're in. Oh, fuck me if I forget what city, what state they're in. Sorry. They're taking a trip to California, though. It's basically across country. And Mimi's brother, there's this guy that comes along, this like stereotypical hot guy that is driving them. And Britney Spears wants to try out at this singing competition because she's a really good singer. And the theme song for the film was "I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman," a famous song that she basically made for it. And she has this relationship with her dad that really feels like a John Hughes movie. I definitely got a lot of like Molly Ringwald and her dad in 16 Candles. And I felt like the director, Tamra Davis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, definitely wanted to get a little bit of those John Hughes themes, which was cool. And the character building was really good. I was really impressed with that. It's cheesy as fuck. Like this film is a cheese fest like no tomorrow, and the acting from a lot of the people are just not good. But it's a product of its time. Like I don't know. It's subpar with the acting. Like I just it's just simply not great. Not to pick on anybody, but the acting just simply is not great. Although, like I said, a lot of the people in this film went on to do big things. Justin Long, Zoe Saldana, etc. But the character building is good. Like I like Mimi ending up in the pregnant situation where she got pregnant with a baby and her it what like she thinks it's her boyfriend's, but she had a situation with another random guy in the car, and then that by the end of the movie, there's this twist where it was Kat's fiance, who Kat is basically driving across country to see, and they're engaged. And when she gets to his apartment or whatever, he is with another chick, and he doesn't give a fuck, like a fuck to give. No more fucks to give at all. Like none. Not a smidgen of a little sprinkle of a fuck does he give about being engaged to Kat. He's sitting there with some girl, and then it's revealed that he was the guy who RAPE'd the Mimi in the backseat of the car, however months before, and that she's carrying his child, and it's just a dramatic situation, but it's really dark, and she decided to keep the baby, which in my opinion is a good choice. But it leaves her with this whole dilemma and strain, and then especially with Kat involved, like Kat's fiance, like it's just it gets dark. Like if you start thinking about it, it's like Kat's fiance did this horrible thing to Mimi, and Kat and Mimi are so close in friendship. Well, they're catty in the movie. Kat especially is one of the most high maintenance girls I've ever seen. Ever, maybe not ever, but I mean, she bitches about she doesn't want to sleep outside, and then they get a motel, and then she bitches about the motel not being good enough and being too cheap, and she bitches about everything she could bitch about. She bitches about. It's really funny. I like the scene in the bar where the guy is attracted to Britney Spears, and then he asks the stereotypical hot guy, which I forget his name. He's just the stereotypical hot guy that you always saw in early 2000s movies. And he says, "Hey, is that your girl?" And he's like, "No." But you can obviously tell that they're like, they have the best chemistry in the world, but they're trying so hard to like not acknowledge the elephant in the room and like ignore the amazing chemistry that they have, and instead of like going for it and kissing and fucking until like the end of the movie, which obviously they do, they try their hardest to fight against it for what I don't understand why that's a thing when two characters are like so in love and they actually match, and they have chemistry and they enjoy each other's company, but it's like, no, I can't do this, I've been hurt. I mean, it's just like, just fuck already. I'm sure everybody watching this knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like, just fuck already, man. Like, Britney's gorgeous. Obviously, she thinks the dude is hot. And yeah, he's tall and has great hair and is pretty buff. So, just do it. Just do it. Britney Spears in her bucket hat, very reminiscent of the time. And I was saying like that and he taps the guy on the shoulder because he asks if he's with Britney Spears' character, and he's like no, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go for it, but it gets a little rough, and then the guy comes along and acts like the hero. It was very cool. They say y'all a lot in this movie, especially Britney Spears. She's total valley girl in this movie. Just y'all this and y'all that, and y'all are bitching and fighting, and y'all just need to calm down, and y'all. I love it. Just for like the the product of its time. I mean, I didn't love the movie too much. Like, it's nothing that I'm gonna rewatch a whole lot. But now that everybody's talking about Barbie, I felt like talking about something else. So the whole situation with Britney Spears' character Lucy and her mom, and literally her mom, like, she has two other kids, and I guess when she had Lucy, she just didn't want a kid, so she totally abandoned her and left her with her father. And usually you see, I mean, I'm sure it goes both ways, but usually what you see displayed is usually like the dad is the one who exits and is like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. You don't often see the mom doing that, although, like I said, it happens. I'm sure it happens pretty much 50-50. But yeah, the mom just wanted nothing to do with Lucy, but then had like two other kids like 2 years later. So what, she was just 2 years behind? It's like, oh, this is just 2 years too early. I'm gonna abandon this kid, and then I'm gonna have some more kids. 2 years later. You just, like, I get you weren't ready, but if you wanted other kids, like, it makes sense if she didn't want kids at all, and she was just a single mom being rich, and or a single woman being rich and doing whatever the hell she wanted. I could understand that, and I don't want any kids, I don't want any, I just want a boyfriend here and there, I want to live the luxurious life, and I don't want any kids whatsoever. That would make sense. But yeah, just to be like, yeah, Lucy, I'm not gonna have you, and you were a mistake. And Britney Spears actually does a really good performance in that bathroom with the guy, who she, the guy she has a crush on, and when she breaks down, it's very believable. It's very, very emotional, and it's very good acting on her part. So that was cool to see, and yeah, I thought, like, Britney Spears wasn't bad in this film at all. Simply put, it's just not my demographic of films. So I'm going to keep this under 20 minutes, so I'm not going to keep going too much. But the praises I have to give is the surprises of the people that were in here that I didn't think were in here. And if you want to watch like a time capsule of a film, no pun intended, because there's actually a legitimate time capsule that they bury in the movie. If you want to watch a time capsule of a film, it's so good. And Britney Spears is gorgeous. I mean, and she's in bra and panties a lot. But it's just funny to see her character so tame. Like, tame isn't, like, it's even beyond tame compared to what you see on fucking social media in 2023. Like, what the hell is 2043 gonna look like? Like, literally, like, sometimes, like, it's crazy. I'll see a chick dressed in clothes that are completely transparent. You can see everything. Why wear clothes then? You know what I mean? If I can see your tits and your pussy over clothing that, like, you can literally see through, it's like you're wearing saran wrap, essentially. Why wear clothes? Like, why wear, if I could see your nipples, why wear clothes? I don't know. I'm not a fucking fashion person, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna reveal it all, which, I don't know. That, I could go on for like another 15 minutes on that topic, but yeah, Crossroads was cool to revisit, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about its culture and its significance back then and now, and the difference between it. Watching movies from a totally different era is a lot of fun because it's just a cool experience to see, kind of thing. So that's all I'll say for it for now. Britney Spears is gorgeous. Justin Long is awesome. Zoe Saldana is a great actress. I love Avatar. And Taryn Manning, I wish I saw her in more things, but I'll always remember her as B. Rabbit's ex in 8 Mile, which is a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen 8 Mile, go see 8 Mile. Alright? Also, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.